Now that I have a high schooler in my homeschool, I've really started to think ahead toward college. It is overwhelming and a little bit terrifying to think that we are so close. We are ending our homeschool journey with our oldest, and she's approaching college. Now, not every child is going to go to college. Some are going to get some technical training, some are going to go straight into careers. Everyone has a different path. However, in talking with my husband, who is a university professor, we spend a lot of time talking about what makes some students successful and others not as successful. And he settled on one big character trait that is missing in a lot of students. And the students who have this character quality are the ones who are the most successful and who do well in college and in their careers beyond. So I want to mention first that on the blog is a story about my husband's coworker whose son did not do well in college. He in fact failed out of his first college, and it was a really stressful and upsetting experience for my husband's coworker and her whole family as they were trying to figure out what to do. And so my husband talked with her extensively about what happened, and he realized that there was one big character trait missing in this particular child, and he sees the same character trait missing in a lot of his students. And so it was something that he mentioned to me that we really want to focus on in our homeschool, because homeschooling is not just about academics, it's about your kids' character and training them to be successful as an adult in all of life, whether it's college or career or family. You want them to have the character to succeed. So let's talk about this student's failure. So he rarely attended class. He overslept most of his classes, or he was late for classes. He missed his exams. He missed his deadlines for turning in assignments. He often even missed meal times. So his whole schedule was completely off, and he was struggling in all areas. He forgot to turn in a lot of assignments, which meant he got late penalties, or he got zeros for those. And then the few he turned in were so late that there were so many late penalties that most of them really didn't count for much toward his grade. He was not able to plan his day and get to all of his classes and manage his time so that he could make meal times, he could make activities. He was not finding balance in his day. So here's what was happening in his home before he left home to attend college. So for the past 18 years before he left home, his mom would wake him up every morning. She managed to schedule his calendar, told him what to do each day, would take him to and from school and his activities based on the calendar that she created and that she followed. And she also reminded him to turn in all of his homework assignments, and she was making sure that every day she checked in with him to keep him on task and on target. So this means that he did not have any self-discipline and personal responsibility. He had zero time management skills, and he was not able to be successful on his own in college. So what my husband has said is the biggest cause of failure for this student and many of his students is a lack of three things: planning, personal responsibility, and time management. So what we have decided is the number one way to help our children be successful in college and beyond is to really help them develop self-discipline. So there are many character traits that are important for all children, all students, but self-discipline is vitally important, and many of my husband's students are missing this character trait. So a student with self-discipline will be able to overcome many hurdles in their lives, and they'll be able to manage their assignments, they'll manage their time well, and they'll be able to balance their schedule between college, maybe a job that they have, or activities or sports or whatever else they do. So they will be able to find that balance and manage their time well because they have the self-discipline to get things done. So here's how you can help your child be successful and how to teach them that self-discipline in your homeschool before they leave home and go to college or leave home and begin their careers. You want to teach your children to use a calendar. It can be a digital calendar, it can be a planner, it can be a written planner, it doesn't matter. You need to teach your children how to manage their own calendar. It's great to have a family calendar, and we have one, and we do it week by week and we hang it on our wall, but my older children write in the activities that apply to them them in their own planners so they know what they need to do each day. It also helps them put in their due dates of all of their assignments so they're able to manage their calendar and their time, and they can see, oh, I have a swim meet this weekend, so I need to get my work done before the weekend so that I'm ready for the next week because I won't have any time this weekend. I have other plans. Okay, you also want to show them how to use lists. It is really important that your children understand how to make lists, how to prioritize the things on the list, and get them done. My husband is not a list maker, and I very much am. But now that he's been married to me for, 17 years, he has really seen the value in making lists and using a planner to keep track of everything. And we've been teaching our children how to make lists and work from them and check things off so nothing gets missed. You also want to create some due dates for assignments and stick to them. This is really hard as a homeschool mom because your kids turn in things when they're done and you grade them and you just keep going. You can move at your own pace. But as your children get older, it's really important that they learn to work toward a due date. Maybe this is a due date that you implement, or maybe they're taking an online class or a class with another teacher, maybe in a co-op where they have due dates and they have to stick with them. And this is really important because in college, due dates are usually not flexible. You cannot tell your professor, oh, sorry, well, I had a golf tournament this weekend, so I just didn't have time. Can I have an extension? As a homeschool mom, I know what activities my kids had, and I know when things get missed, and I can push back due dates if I want to. But for my older students, I try not to do that often because I want them to learn to be responsible to meet a due date no matter what happens. They might get sick, they might have other activities, so they need to plan ahead so that they can stick with those due dates. So the next step is to really help them manage their time wisely by teaching them to plan ahead. Now that they have a calendar and a checklist, they can look at their schedule for the week and see, I have a really busy day on Thursday. So on Wednesday, I might need to double up and do some extra work because I will not have as much time on Thursday. Or for my daughter, she has Spanish class on Monday and Wednesday. So those days, she's not able to get as much math done. So Tuesday and Thursday are more math heavy days for her because the other days are her Spanish heavy days. So it really gives them the ability to plan ahead so that they can manage their time and still get things done. I also let my older children help plan a structured routine for their day. So we talk through, okay, what subject do you want to do first? When are you going to get your work done? And I've helped them really understand that they need to start with their most difficult or their least favorite task first and get it out of the way so they don't spend the rest of their day dreading that assignment or that task. So this helps when they have the list, they can prioritize and they can plan their day based off of what is prioritized and based off of what assignments are coming due the soonest. So I try to talk with them, give them some guidance so that they can plan a structured routine. It's really important for them to have a flow to their day so they know what to do and when to do it. And they also know when they have some time off, when they have some breaks scheduled throughout their day so that they have time to look forward to and they know that they're going to have time to follow some of their own interests and do what they want to do in addition to getting their schoolwork done. Then you also want to give them some small independent tasks to help them practice time management. And you can start this when your children are really small and really young, giving them tasks to do, giving them deadlines, and helping them meet those. They might need a lot of reminders in the beginning, and there might need to be a few gentle consequences, natural consequences, when things do not get completed in time. But you want them to learn that time management, and you want them to see realistically how long are things going to take them. Because when my kids first created their plans, they were like, I only need 15 minutes for math. Sure you do. But once they really practice and work independently, they see how unrealistic their expectations are and they're able to adjust. So I try to give them as much independence as possible and help them plan, but let them see their plans fail because they need to learn how to fail. And that's the next step, is give them that safe space to fail because you've been giving them some small independent task, maybe something that's inconsequential, but let them fail from their own lack of planning. Don't swoop in at the last minute and provide all the reminders or help them do it with them. Let them fail so that they fail now in your homeschool when it doesn't really matter as much, so that they're not failing in college. They can see the consequences of their actions of not getting things done in time, not planning ahead. So give them that opportunity to make those mistakes. Let them set those unrealistic expectations and be brought rapidly back to earth when nothing works out the way that they planned. And make sure that you do enforce the consequences when they are not exhibiting self-discipline. This is hard, but my kids have missed swim meets, swim practices, golf practices, their favorite activities, because they did not complete their work in time. And this is something that my husband and I agree on and that we talk about, and we let them know, okay, this is what needs to be done this week. You need to complete this task. If it's not done, there won't be golf on Saturday for you because you'll need to spend that time doing it. It's only taken once or twice for my kids to not get things done and then have consequences for them to see that I am not kidding. They will not be doing their fun activity. So sometimes it's important to enforce those consequences in something that, again, is small before they get to college and the consequence is failing a class or failing out of college entirely. So you want them to have that space to fail now and experience those consequences so that as they grow older, they know, okay, I don't want to do that again, and they're going to plan more wisely in the future. So self-discipline is not something that you can start with in the high school years. You start when they are small, when they are young, and it's developed over time. Every day, it's the daily grind of working with them, reminding them, and really helping them learn to never give up and to finish what they start. So it's the kids who have that grit and determination and have that level of independence. Those are those students who are able to succeed in college and in their careers. So make sure you're working to develop that self-discipline even from a young age. Yes, you can be flexible in homeschool, but sometimes it's important to make some deadlines, have some high expectations for your kids so that they start to live up to those, so that as they become adults, they are able to manage their own schedule, manage their own time, create lists, follow a plan, and learn how to fail and recover. So those are some tips for developing self-discipline in your kids, which again, I think is really critical in a college student and for kids who are going into careers. They need to have those skills. So I would love to hear how you develop self-discipline in your homeschool, if there's any extra techniques that you use with your kids. So please comment below, let me know what you think about developing self-discipline and how you've really helped your children become more independent learners and able to manage their time well.